Do you remember the Nasty Boys watching your matches when they did Ring Crew when you were young?
Yeah. Nasty Boys stayed at my house a couple of times, and they just loved wrestling. They were just so hungry for it, and they would do anything to get in it. And they worked hard for it. They worked hard, did a lot of stuff to get where they were.
What are your thoughts on them as people, Brian and Jerry?
Oh, they're crazy. I mean, those guys are off the wall. They're nice guys, but hey, we got some nuts in this business.
That's true.
I mean, if you put them all in one basket, you better have a big basket because there ain't nothing we wouldn't do or haven't done, and they're part of it. I mean, they're crazy.
Memories of Nick Bockwinkel.
Nick is a dear friend of mine, and I have the utmost respect for him, and he has the utmost respect for me, and I think the world of Nick. I used to come home again at Christmas time and let Vern know I was coming in, and I would work with Nick all the time on Doug. And Nick would, we go in the ring, and he says, "Whatever you want." And I said, what are you doing? He says, "Power driver." I said, "I got it." And I went out, that's all I need to know. And I went out there and I set it all up, and it was perfect. I would do a suplex on him and go up on the top rope and do my head dive off the top rope like Benoit did and Race did. And then follow right into the power driver. And he gave us the greatest compliment ever when he had the belt. And the Rockers and we were in Denver, and he told the promoter, he says, "I ain't going to be main event." And he said, the tag has to be main event because he said there's no one that can follow those four. And he was such a gentleman about it. He said it in front of everybody.
Wow.
It wasn't just dressed to Buddy or me to boost our ego or anything. It came straight from the heart because he knew that no one could follow the tag.
Right.
And from that day forth, he never followed the tag. He was always before the tag. And that the Rockers didn't know what kind of compliment that was. But Buddy and I knew it because this guy is a great wrestler and a technician and an old-timer, and I've known him for 30 years plus. And that was the greatest compliment in the world. I mean, I thought it was great for Nick to say that. But he said, "I'm not saying to boost your ego, but no one can touch you and Buddy and those kids. So don't worry about it."
Right.
The belt don't mean nothing. So
now, you disappeared for a little while after you lost the titles. Where did you go?
I went back to Georgia.
Right.
And stayed there with my wife and my kids. And then I was wrestling down in Georgia and wrestling around the South. And I was getting ready to go back and work for Vince. I went to a show at the auditorium or the Phillips Arena, and I was going to go. I met him in November, and I was going to meet with him after Christmas. And then a few weeks after that, my daughter got killed, and I just put my boots up and I said I quit. And I went into seclusion for 7 years. So I didn't care. When
you did come back, you teamed up with I guess Sold Out Houston off for a little bit, right?
Yeah, I came back a couple of times when they asked me to. He needed a partner. They needed to go to Memphis and let the Giant Killers get the belt. So I agreed to it, but there was nothing. It was just a couple matches.
Right.
He couldn't do anything. He was hard. So I did it all, and I didn't mind doing what had to be done. I'm that type of guy. It has to be done. Do it the right way. Get in, get out, and make it work.
Right. What are your memories of the Wrestlerocks?
They were great. I mean, we had a lot of fun. The Wrestlerocks. Our best one was in Denver. We had Molly Hatchet, and I used to drive down the road to their music. You ripped off on Smoke and that, and they watched us do the show, and then they did a concert. And after the concert, we went back to the hotel, and they jammed in the bar, and we closed the bar off, and they jammed and we partied. Then we went up to their room. Their stories were no different than ours, except they were musicians and we were wrestlers, and we were all crazy. I mean, they gave us their shirts, and they autographed them. I got my Molly Hatchet shirt at home, and we gave them pictures, and we took pictures, and we just had a fabulous time. We had some good Wrestlerocks.
How did you wind up in WCW in the early 90s?
I just went down there and wrestled. I live in Georgia.
Right.
I went down there, and again, I didn't agree with the people in the office, and I'm hardcore. I believe what I believe about my business is solid and real, and I just didn't like the way they were presenting things, and I just did the same thing. I walked out.
Who was in the office at the time? Who was Booker?
You had Dusty was down there, and you had about 4 different guys.
That was
down
the
there.
committee, Cornette and all those guys?
Yeah, and I just didn't really believe in the way it was going, so I bought it. When I don't believe in something, I'm not going to give all my knowledge or my heart to it, and because I believe in giving a good performance, and I didn't want to waste it.
Right. Now, when you went to WCW and you worked there a little bit, they didn't give you a huge push. Was that just because?
Attitude.
Right.
On all parties. I was coming out of Minneapolis territory, and I was very strong about a lot of stuff, and I didn't have to take the bullshit. I could work or not work, and I decided not to.
I guess what made you finally decide to retire? Just you had enough of the business, or?
No, what really made me retire was when I lost my daughter in a car accident, and it just devastated me, and I lost all heart. I mean, I put my boots up, and my 2 boys said, "Daddy, you can't quit." And I said, "I'm quitting," and I did for 7 years, 8 years, and then I started going back on weekends, and my sons liked it. And I got the urge again, so I do it as much as I can.
I was going to ask you now, what do you do now for a full-time living these days?
I work on weekends wrestling. I enjoy it. I love to try and educate the young kids. I think I call them weekend warriors. They don't have a clue. But when they get in the ring with me, I give them the whole picture, and I just eat them up and I beat them hard. And I worked for a guy for 17 weeks, went through 17 guys. And they finally came to me and said, "We can't use no more, Doug." I said, "What's the problem?" He said, "You're hurting everybody. You're popping shoulders. You broke a knee. You broke 3 ribs. You popped an ankle and pulled out shoulders." And I said, "Well, they don't know how to wrestle." I said, "I'm not going to look stupid." I said, "They look stupid because I get them in the ring and I eat their ass up.
Right.
And I'm not afraid to do it." That's the way I was taught. So if you go in the ring and you don't know anything, you're going to learn, whether you like it or not. And it doesn't bother me. So,
I guess who are your favorite guys and least favorite guys to work with? You pretty much said that you like working with everybody.
I never had a bad itch with anybody. I learned from everybody I ever worked with. Even if I was the one taking charge and doing it, I learned and I made the match what it was supposed to be. And I would use the people. I try to teach them the people. You gotta do this way to get that crowd. And they wouldn't know or try to understand philosophy with psychology in the ring, and they do get lost. So I would have to take it and do it the way it was supposed to be done.
Who was your favorite tag team partner?
Oh, I have to go with Buddy, because Buddy and I had so much fun. Randy Rose and I were good, but nothing compared with Buddy. I had Roger Kirby, a great wrestler out of Kansas City. We were partners in Texas. I had McFarland, but that was nothing. But by far, tag was Buddy.
I guess, is there anybody in the business that you thought would have made it really big but never made it?
I don't know about that one. There are a lot of guys out there that I thought would go and do it, and they never did. And that goes back to the partying time, the partying years,
Right.
where everyone was doing coke and smoke and traveling so many miles a week. That's the only way you could live. And it just, it became more important. So,
what are your thoughts on all the deaths of the past few years, and which in particular hit you the hardest?
the hardest was Curt. I mean, I've known Curt for over 30 years. And Curt was a good father, a good friend, a great athlete. He loved life. And it really hurt me bad. It just really tore me apart when I heard that happen, because we've been down the road a long time, and he had everything going for me. He had a family, a beautiful family, and all the money he wanted, and he was right there at the top of his career, and boom, it was over. It was hard.
Do you still watch wrestling today?
Yeah, I do with my son. I watch it to keep up with what they're doing in the shows, and I try and figure it out. And I see stuff I don't like, and I have my opinion. I'm very opinionated about stuff, and I watch it. I even watch Mexican wrestling on the weekends because I love to see what they're doing, and then I compare what they're doing with the other shows, and no one knows what they're doing. So
I was going to ask you, what do you think of the product these days?
It's hard. It really is. They no one thinks for themselves. If they had to think for themselves, they'd be in trouble, and that's sad.
What would you change?
What would I change? I throw out the paperwork, the pencils, and tell them, hey, this is your mind. This is the machine. This is the computer. You have to learn to make the computer work and put it all together and put that puzzle back the way it's supposed to be and not go in sequence. You have, as it happens, spontaneous. They don't have a clue.
I think a lot of the locker rooms would be half empty if they had to do that. But I mean, that's the way it should be done. You're all right.
Well, they wouldn't. The locker room, the kids would be scared.
All right.
Because they'd be lost.
You ever watch UFC and MMA? Are you a fan of Ultimate Fighting?
I watch it. My son loves it, and I'll sit there and watch it. I think it's great. I mean, that's some ass kicking shit.
Would you ever want to write a book?
I've been asked a couple of times. I had someone approach me a couple of years ago about it, and we threw it up in the air a few times. I probably will eventually someday.
Do you still have a big passion for the business?
Oh yeah, I love the business because I believe the fans want to see wrestling. There's people out there that actually want to see mat wrestling and the way it used to be. And I'm told that every time I go to a show, they see it, they hate me, and that's what I want. They hate me, but they respect what I do, and that's what I've always got. When people say, "I want to see you get your ass kicked tonight," and I get my ass kicked, but they're going to buy a ticket again and see what happens the next time I go in the ring because that's what they want. And that's what they're not getting anymore. And the young guys, like I said, I call them weekend warriors in these small states that go out there and do all this off-the-wall stuff, don't have a clue. Me, I like to get in there and tie them up and make them look stupid.
What do you miss most and least about being a full-time wrestler?
The boys and the traveling. The traveling was always hard, but it was always fun. You got a bunch of guys that are a family, and we all are doing the same thing to get to the same thing, and it never changed. I miss it all. I enjoy going on the weekends and wrestle. Going back 320 days a year, I don't think I will go back to that. I like to go back and work with Vince, but we have problems, so I'm just old school, and it just won't go. So,
any regrets?
Any regrets? Yeah, I didn't save all my money. I blew it partying, but I had a damn good time for 35 years. But yeah, just not saving the money that I made, and I had that'd probably be about the only thing I regret. Never change anything that happened in my career. I wouldn't give it up because I had a hard life, a hard road, but I learned what it was all about, and you can't replace that.
I guess some of your favorite ribs we talked a little bit about. What's your favorite one of all time?
Oh, of all time, I had so many that the Icy Hot was good.
Or even a road story or something that stands out.
Road stories. We used to, Minneapolis, the Sheik. He had a brand new cattle. He never drove it anywhere. He always get a ride. And it had the 4 doors where you had to open it this way. So the handles were like that. And we handcuffed them some bitches and then take off. And he couldn't get in his car. And we used to put the super glue into lock in the winter with 40 below out. And the only way to get your key in, you would have to blow torch that son of a bitch, get it out. And we used to do all kinds of shit with the cars. Never, if you broke it, we fixed it. That was the honor of the rib. If you can't replace what you do, don't do it. And we used to get itching powder and put them in the pants, and we knew the guy was smart for that, so we get his underwear, his pants, his socks, and we skedaddle, and he go down the road, he's going to be in trouble. We used to do that all the time.
Favorite match?
Favorite match? God, I've had so many. Dory Funk Jr. and I had a title match in Texas one time, and I was scared to death. I paced that dressing room for an hour and a half, and the guy said, "What's wrong? What are you doing? You look crazy." I said, "I'm wrestling Dory." I said, "I've watched this guy all my life, and I went out there and had one of the best matches of my life." And he taught me so much. It was so easy because he was such a professional and such a technician in the ring. And he wasn't going to do anything that would get him hurt. And I was in charge. I was the general. And he allowed me to do whatever I wanted because he knew I wasn't going to hurt him. So, yeah, Dory Funk and, again, Nick Bockwinkel, the two greatest guys I've worked with.
Favorite town?
Favorite town? Ooh, Denver and Vegas. And San Francisco and Miami and Chicago and Milwaukee.
Right.
Those were the best towns because those were our party towns. Frisco was a major party after the show. Denver was, and Vegas was a 24/7. We never slept. It's true, you go to Vegas, you don't sleep. But we partied, we drank, and we wrestled hard and partied. And slept on the plane and then got to the next town and started all over.
Is there anything you wanted to say to your fans that you never had a chance to say before until now?
Hey, I'm back. Pretty Boy's back. If you want me, get a hold of your local promotion and get a hold of me, and I'll be glad to come down and give you what you want.
Thanks for being here today with us. It was a
It
great
is my
interview.
pleasure. Thank you very much.